Tonight, the shortlist of possible locations for the Eyre Peninsula's new desalination plant is cut to 3 as the site's ideal capacity is increased by 30%. And recommended but not mandated, masks optional in classrooms as Spencer Golf students return for Term 3.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Madeline Kerr begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. A major breakthrough for desalination on the Eyre Peninsula, with the site selection committee ruling out Shoal Point due to environmental and financial concerns. Now only 3 shortlisted sites remain, with a decision on the preferred location expected to be reached by the first week of August.
It's been a long time in the making, but residents of the Eyre Peninsula might finally be able to rest easy, with a preferred site to be selected within the coming weeks. Now, due to a range of environmental concerns, Shoal Point has been removed as a possible location.
The site that we knocked off was Shoal Point. There are a number of reasons. It was really going to be a challenge physically to construct a site there. If people are familiar with it, there's extraordinarily high cliffs between the ground and the ocean.
Financial and time constraints also reasons why Shoal Point is no longer considered. The committee is left to choose between Sleaford West, Sleaford North and Point Boston.
They all have their advantages and disadvantages, but the most important thing is that we can get power and serviceability to the site, and also that the water can be plumbed easily into the existing network.
Increasing the capacity of the desalination plant by 30% also in consideration, aiming to hold up to 5.3 gigalitres of water.
The Adelaide desalination plant, for example, has a capacity to manufacture 100 gigalitres per year, and we're talking just 5.3. So it's just 1/20th of the size of the Adelaide plant.
Despite all 3 sites being unique, design teams are currently exploring all options concerning layout and costs, and a final decision is right around the corner.
On we go. 1st of August, we're due to put something forward to both the state government and SA Water concurrently.
The committee will take it to a vote this week. Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Golf News.
As Spencer Golf school students returned for Term 3, student safety was the top priority for the state authorities. Police reminding drivers to slow down around school zones, while SA Health advised parents to begin making masks a school bag essential once again.
Lunches are packed and pencils are ready. School drop-off points were a hive of activity this morning as children from across the region returned for their first day back in the classroom. With the start of Term 3 today, there was increased police presence around school zones, ready to enforce the 25 km/h speed regulations.
As kids go back to school, there will be a really strong enforcement element to making sure that as people return to school, that they are also kept safe by making sure that people on the roads and in and around schools are also doing the right thing.
SAPOL says young children are less predictable than other road users and can be impulsive when caught up in the excitement of returning to school and seeing their friends. Reminding drivers to be extra vigilant near school crossings, to watch out for pedestrians and to slow down to avoid receiving a fine.
Please take care. Speeding does cause accidents. It's the leading cause at the moment of road fatalities in South Australia, so keep the speeds down.
Students, parents and caregivers are also being reminded of the importance of being COVID safe when returning to a school setting, with the Department for Education and Chief Public Health Officer sending out a letter to public schools to recommend the wearing of masks.
Letter of recommendation that has gone out, which highlights the importance of wearing masks, particularly in indoor areas, and that is a recommendation that applies across the community as well.
Although they are still not mandatory, students in years 3 to 12 were advised to mask up today, but many chose to go without.
A difficult phase at the moment with this BA4, BA5 wave that we're facing, and any steps that we can take to try to reduce that transmission ultimately is going to help to protect vulnerable people.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A Port Pirie kindergarten has expressed interest in leasing a portion of council land to be used as an outdoor play area. If the bid is successful, it will also mean the kindergarten will not need permission from parents to head into Woodward Park.
Surrounded by parklands, it's only natural that Port Pirie Community Kindergarten wants its students to explore the outdoors.
Look at the day today, it's just beautiful. There nothing beats the sun in the face, the children out climbing and challenging all of their skills. They're balancing their senses. It's just, the opportunities are endless.
The kindergarten has expressed interest in leasing a portion of its council-owned surroundings, known as Woodward Park. The land in question is approximately 285 metres squared and adjoins to the kindergarten.
We have not been able to grow grass successfully due to the beautiful trees that provide shade, but also it stops us from growing grass.
Grass will mean the children can enjoy more time outdoors, playing games and sports. As for parents and guardians, they won't have to sign permission slips to let their children leave the grounds to venture into the park.
We also can play baseball there. And we can play duck, deuce.
The lease proposal was put out to the public for consultation, and there was no feedback, meaning the kindergarten should have access to the land very soon. It is an exciting time for the kindergarten as upgrades are happening at Woodward Park, including a half basketball court and a brand new nature playground. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The life of Whyalla football legend Niels "Knuckle" Curley has been celebrated at a state funeral at Adelaide Oval today. Mr Curley had an illustrious SANFL career as both player and coach. His casket even draped with the SANFL flag. At the tender age of 21, Curley was at the helm of North Whyalla when they won back-to-back flags in 1954 and 1955. He was also named in the league's Team of the Century as vice-captain in 2001. The 88-year-old sadly passed away in a car accident late last month. Still to come tonight, go big or go home. The local community group raising thousands for the Royal Flying Doctors Service. And Lifeline joins the Palace Hotel as the charity of choice for this year's Broken Hill Festival. Welcome back. The Whyalla Royal Flying Doctors Service support group has marked its 14th anniversary with a record annual fundraising donation to a worthy cause they know well. The club's president paying tribute to the small group of volunteers who cook up the barbecues every week and the fantastic local community for their support. Edward McCarroll has more.
The Whyalla Royal Flying Doctor Service support group is helping to keep planes in the air with this year's record annual donation of more than $50,000.
We just got to congratulate the Whyalla public in general for supporting us. It's been fantastic to raise this amount of money.
It's the largest fundraising effort ever achieved by the group and brings the total money raised in their relatively short history to almost $450,000.
They're very surprised because last year we set a record of 45.5 hours and we were determined we're going to beat it this year.
The club says they are incredibly proud of this year's achievement, especially as they've been able to raise the money amid the challenging COVID-19 pandemic. The group is keen to enlist more members, as more volunteers means more opportunities to raise money to help patients in rural and remote areas.
We can do with more volunteers, but if you've got a spare change, come along and join us. We have a bit of fun.
They are looking for volunteers to man barbecues, sell raffle tickets or work on subcommittees to create new fundraisers.
A lot of people have had families or someone been taken then plane to Adelaide or Melbourne, wherever they had to go, people think it's just the city, but it's not. It does the bush.
Those looking to get involved are advised to check out the Whyalla RFDS Support Group's Facebook page or come chat to them at one of their many barbecues.
Lifeline Country to Coast has come on board as the charity of choice for this year's Broken Hill Festival. Money raised at the event will go to further developing the charity's training programs for the LGBTIQA+ community.
Returning to the Silver City after a 2-year absence, organisers of the Broken Hill Festival have partnered with Lifeline Broken Hill Country to Coast.
Really excited, and not only excited but honoured to be involved with such a fantastic event and to be chosen as the charity of choice. We're looking forward to, building on this relationship and doing some really good work in this space.
Knowing the struggles in the community and the challenging times we're in, especially for those in rural and remote areas.
This has been an event that's been cancelled the last couple of times, so for the event to be coming back together generates some excitement for our community, and also to be involved from a suicide prevention space means a lot to us.
While it's the first time they have partnered with the Broken Hill Festival, Country to Coast have been involved with Port Pirie's Pride Festival.
And we're going to continue to keep doing that work, and we're looking forward to expanding that, and this is a part of being able to build on stronger relationships with event organisers.
Staff and councillors will be available to talk throughout the duration of the Priscilla Queen of the Desert inspired festival, as well as a few fundraising initiatives leading up to and during the festivities.
We'll have our limited edition rainbow T-shirts that will be on sale, and all the proceeds from that go back into developing training programs around LGBTIQA+. If
you or someone you know needs help, contact Lifeline on 131114. Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. The Broken Hill Community Centre marks a major milestone. And meet the entrepreneurial mum juggling 3 kids and 2 small businesses. Welcome back to 7 Spencer Gulf News. Broken Hill's Centre for Community is celebrating its 20th anniversary this week. The centre has been home to numerous community organisations over the past 2 decades, and volunteers are looking forward to catching up with some familiar faces.
Whether it's your first time or you're a regular, everyone's welcome at the Centre for Community on Wednesday to mark 20 years in operation.
We've got lots of photos that Sharon's found, and we're going to have them in a rotating photo show. And morning tea will be provided, so it'll just be a fun time reminiscing.
It was the brainchild of the South Rotary Club and was once a bowling club with some of the greens still present. And those who have used it have shaped it to what it is today.
Just all of the clubs that ultimately became involved, it just morphed into what it is now. I mean, there's a lot of time and energy in the early days.
With its central location, the building is perfect for those wanting to use it. It all came together due to a number of factors happening.
The bowling club, I think, were looking to close, and the Rotary Club was willing to come in. And, just all of those factors came together at the right time, and this is the result.
Currently, a number of grassroots organisations use the facilities, with radio station 2 Dry FM and also Landcare calling it home.
And we have an area up the back, a shed behind the men's shed, or the shed that used to be the men's shed, used by the Mineral Club.
For those wanting to attend the morning tea, it starts at 10 a.m. on Wednesday morning. Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
No, you weren't dreaming. A blackout really did happen in far west New South Wales overnight. Reports of power cutting out came in around 1 a.m, with some homes left in the dark until 7:15 this morning, while others saw power return around 4:30. Essential Energy says a mechanical failure is to blame. 14,000 residents across Broken Hill, Silverton, Menindee and Wilcannia were affected by the outage. Ardrossan local Sarah Rawlings hasn't let being a mum of 3 get in the way of starting up 2 successful small businesses. Instead, she says being on maternity leave with her youngest child is what inspired her to pursue her passions.
Living regionally has its pros and cons, and there is nothing easy about starting a small business.
Friends and family members that have gone on and opened their own businesses, and I've just said to them every time, you're never going to be ready. You're never going to have everything perfect. Not all your ducks are going to be lined in a row.
Sarah Rawlings saw a gap in the market for quality coffee in Ardrossan, taking the challenge into her own hands.
Obviously, the tourism trade in a regional town is very fluctuating between the summer and the winter season. So trying to work out how you're going to get through to all your locals to be able to support you during that time.
Speaking of challenges, that is exactly what kick-started Sarah's second business.
Being on maternity leave and there was no childcare in the area, I had to do something. I needed a creative outlet and I needed a second income for my family.
3 of Me Creations has proven to be popular due to the want and demand for local, handmade quality products. And people like supporting people they know.
Someone's come and bought something for me and literally as they're walking away they're putting a scrunchie in their hair or they're putting their coat on or you can see them go to use it straight away.
Sarah is excited for the future of both businesses and hopes to see them merge together more as she has a great passion for them both. You can follow both the Coffee House and 3 of Me Creations on Instagram. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us. After the break, we take a look at the weekend's footy scores from across the Spencer Gulf and Broken Hill. And Alex is back. Coming up, we'll have the weather details with Alex Sykes. Welcome back. It was another exciting week of football with teams from across the region tallying some big scores. With only a few games left of the minor rounds, competitions are heating up, seeing teams fight for their spot in the finals. Here's Henry Millick.
It was a huge weekend of football for the Spencer Gulf, with many teams securing must-win games, keeping their finals hopes alive. Let's take a look at all the results from rounds 11 and 12. Kicking things off with the Port Lincoln Football League, where Mallee Park defeated Boston's in a blowout. Mallee Park refound their form and are still pushing for a spot in the finals, overcoming the Tigers 118-48. Over at Wangari Oval, top of the table Marble Range took care of Waybacks, defeating the Demons in a 92-point thumping. Rangers are still yet to be beaten this year. In the final game at Centenary Oval, it was Tasmans who got the better of Lincoln South in a tightly contested match. Tasman's backline held strong against South's attack, seeing defenders Dylan Smith and Brad Masters as the best players. In the end, Tasmans walked away with a 20-point win. Moving on to Broken Hill, and it was South who were far too good for West at Alma Oval, defeating the Robins 153-14. South having a day out, kicking 21 goals and 27 points. However, the other game was much more competitive. North arm wrestled with Centrals in a tightly contested match, but it was Centrals who proved to be more accurate in front of goal, kicking 12 goals 12 to come away with the 22-point win. Heading over to Whyalla now, where some teams put big scores on the board. Bennett Oval saw a lopsided victory for Rapina, smashing South Whyalla 155 to just 12. Another high-scoring game for West Whyalla, where they defeated North 118-37 at Memorial Oval. In the final game on Sunday, things were much closer, but Central Whyalla managed to walk away with a narrow win over Warina Bay, beating them by just 7 points. Central Whyalla remain at the top of the ladder after round 11. Moving on to round 12 of the Spencer Gulf Football League now. In the first match at Central Oval, South Augusta defeated West 93-58. In the other match, it was Solomon Town who proved to be too strong for Central Augusta, claiming a strong 42-point win. And in the final game came the biggest score of the region, seeing Risdon tally a massive 187 points, demolishing Ports. Risdon slotting a solid 29 goals and 13 behinds to claim a 117-point win. And that's about it for this week's footy results. We'll be back tomorrow night for the rest of the region's sport.
Some of those scores have got to hurt. Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather with Alex Sykes. Alex, welcome back and good evening to you. It was a wet night in Port Lincoln last night.
Thanks, Maddie. Good evening to you too, and it's great to be back. That's right, close to 11 millimetres fell between 6 p.m. and 9 a.m, which is more than the first 16 days of July combined. Port Lincoln reached 14 degrees quite early today at around 10:30 a.m. Elsewhere, 19 degrees in Port Augusta, 21 in Broken Hill. Looking more broadly at today's weather map now, 16 degrees in Port Pirie and Woodness, 17 in Whyalla, 15 degrees in the capital. Taking a look at the satellite image now, a high pressure system over WA will move slowly eastwards over the north of the South Australia during the week. A weak trough will move over the south late Wednesday and Tuesday. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. West to southwesterly winds 15 to 25 knots in the morning. Seas between 1 and 2 metres, and south to southwesterly swell around 1 metre, increasing up to 2.5 metres. Cloudy on the Eyre Peninsula tomorrow, 17 degrees in Port Lincoln and Woodner, 16 in Cleve. The upper Spencer Gulf is looking a bit sunnier, 16 in Whyalla, down to 4 tonight. Port Augusta is set to reach 18 and 15 in Kadina. Port Pirie will be partly cloudy, 16 degrees, between 3 and 13 in Clare, and Broken Hill will be mostly sunny, heading for a top of 15 degrees there. Taking a look further through the week now, Cooper Pedy is in for a sunny Wednesday, 18 degrees, 1 degree warmer in Port Augusta and Woodner, 19, 17 in Port Lincoln and Port Pirie. Moving on to Thursday's forecast now, 19 degrees and sunny in Cooper Pedy and Port Augusta, 17 in Whyalla, Port Pirie and Broken Hill. Some showers are forecast for the bottom part of our weather map, 16 degrees and a medium chance of showers in Port Lincoln, most likely in the morning before a mostly sunny afternoon, 15 and showers on the way for Kadina and Adelaide. And finally, taking our first look at how Friday is shaping up, partly cloudy conditions across the board, 15 in Broken Hill and Kadina, 17 in Whyalla, 18 in Port Pirie, while Port Augusta and Cooper Pedy will once again be our warmest centres, set to reach 19 degrees. And that's all the weather from me for tonight. Maddie, it's back to you.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Monday. I'm Madeline Kerr. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates a little later, but until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.